What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. We got some breaking news right now regarding your mans Anthony, Mandela, Gandhi, Johnston. Yeah, this right here is an exclusive leak from one of the YB sources, and I'm gonna read you the title from the report. One of them, obviously, we know the YB now is a large mass media organization, so obviously, one of my reported ons has just finished writing up a story from one of his leaks. Listen, end of the day, one of his sources has come through, and we've got some breaking news regarding Anthony Johnston right now, and your man the YB fixing to report on it, no doubt. Here we go, check this. Anthony Johnston to leave Rob McCracken's gym for Alexander Usyk rematch, as Eddie Hearn says Britt needs to be roughed up. Anthony Johnston has left his cushy team, GB Sheffield base, to toughen up for a shot at rematch revenge over Alexander Usyk. Although the 32-year-old has not yet personally confirmed his split with Rob McCracken, Sun Sport, aka the YB Sport, does not expect the coaching mastermind, aka Rob McCracken, aka Rob McFritzel, to follow Anthony Johnston away from the EIS, where he is a hero to all the amateur prospects. The 2012 Olympic legend visited a handful of American gyms and trainers after the punishing September loss, and promoter Eddie Hearn expects a new regime to be implemented for the new year. Ahead of Chisora vs Parker 2, Hearn said, "Rob's in Sheffield, and that's his base. That's where he keeps all the kids locked up in the shed, 100%. Yeah? You best believe Rob McFritzel has got a whole bunch of failed careers. Yeah? Rob McFritzel is the place that good fighters go to die. Yeah? And they never see, listen, do you know how many kids from Team GB never saw the light of day again? Yeah? Listen, there's a whole bag of man, there's a whole bag of youth, yeah? There's a whole bag of Team GB youth whose careers ain't seen the light of day because Rob McCracken got to them. No doubt. Yeah? Hearn goes on. I feel it might be time to move on from that environment, from the Rob McFritzel environment. Because when you've been there, when your career's been locked in a shed since you were 18, and you go into Team GB, and Anthony Johnston is everywhere, he's a god. This can't be good for his mentality. I just feel it's time to rough him up a little bit. Not in log cabins in the middle of nowhere, but up there, it's oh my god, it's AJ, because they're proud of him. Rob is not necessarily gone. That's a conversation for those guys, and it's very difficult because it's more than just a trainer. He's a mentor to him. Yeah, he's a Stockholm Syndrome Donny to him, and an advisor, and a friend, and a leech. Yeah? Hearn also says, it's not just about who's training Mr. Johnston. It's about where that's going to take place. He's talking to people, and I think he will make a decision in the early new year. So, we just heard there from Eddie Hearn, and I can't lie once again. There was a time, Anthony Johnston is known as a man who, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, years ago, I said that he talks in riddles, he's cryptic, yeah? Anthony Cryptic Johnston. It seems to me like Eddie Hearn is now also cryptic. We've got part of him saying he needs to leave, but don't worry, Rob ain't going nowhere. It's like, why bother saying anything? Yeah? And I can't lie, when I saw this article first come through, I thought, wow! I swear to God, before I actually read what Team AJ are basically saying, no word of a lie, my head was filled. I was about to come on here and I was about to say, you know what? Yeah, me and Mr. Johnston haven't seen eye to eye recently, but I respect it. Because even though you ain't done what you need to do, aka reach out to the YB, I'm happy for as long as you get it done. That's all that matters. Yeah, that's what I was fixing to say before I read it, because all I saw was the big title which said, "Oh, Anthony Johnston." Leeds, Rob McCracken. Yeah? But now, I mean, I can't lie. To be fair to Hearn's obviously, let's get something straight here. Hearn's been listening to the YB, because don't forget this, people. What do we know? After Johnston lost here, Hearn weren't saying, you must leave. Hearn weren't saying, he needs to toughen up. He was saying, yeah, Rob's the best, and AJ ain't going nowhere. Rob got the best team. Johnston got the best team. Yeah? After he heard the YB airing Johnston and McFritzel out, all of a sudden, but you know what? It's not about. Obviously, Hearn should really come out and say, you know what, the YB, he number one lyricist right now on this game. That's what you should be doing. But you know, end of the day, I'm not someone who here to try and blow my ego up. As long as you get there, yeah, as long as you're saying the right thing. So I give Hearn credit for calling a spade a spade. Now he hasn't fully aired out Rob McFritzel yet, but I mean, he's saying he needs a change. That's as strong as it's going to get in it, really. Yeah. And I'm glad that, well, even though it's not as strong as I may like, but I'm glad that at least Hearn is trying to do something. He's trying to take some level of fiduciary care for his charge. Because at the end of the day, yeah, Eddie Hearn's supposed to be in the Anthony Johnston game. He's not supposed to be in the Rob McFritzel game. Yeah? That's the thing. Eddie Hearn, that's why I've been slagging off 258 management. 258 management and Eddie Hearn, they're not supposed to be responsible for managing Rob McFritzel's relationship with Mr. Johnston. Yeah? They're supposed to be responsible for maximising his career, financially and otherwise. But it's all interlinked. If you keep losing because you've got a bum trainer and you've got a bum mentality, then you can't handle the finances, can you? Because you keep losing. Oops. It's all interlinked. So by you man sitting there as sidemen for 2 years shilling for Rob McFritzel, now we are where we are. So it all feels like it's a little bit too little too late. I mean, even now, potentially we're only 4 months away, and Mr. Johnston is ice skating in Dubai. It's like, what the... You ain't got time to be ice skating in Dubai. This ain't one of them ones. But then again, some people are saying, some Mr. Johnston fans are saying, yeah, but YB, the reason he ice skating in Dubai is because it was a fix. And he just he flopped on purpose. Now, if that's the case, if Johnston goes in there, yeah, with Rob McCracken and goes in there fully gully, then 100% it was rigged. I don't care what no one says. Because there's no way. There's no way it can work like that. And honestly, I'd rather that happen. I'll tip my hat and say, you know what, fair play, get that money, yeah? Even though my coins got bumped, even though I'll never believe a word you say again, fair play to you. I'd rather that be the case. I'd rather get my coins get bumped than you be a fake and a fraud and a flopper, yeah? At least then I can say, you know what, yeah, he had a little hustle going on and he obviously bet on himself to lose, and he obviously $40 million obviously weren't enough. You needed the YB's coins as well, but you know what, fair play to it, yeah? I'd rather that be the case. We're going to find out we're going to find out what kind of case it really is at the heart of things in a few months' time. Now, one thing I will say, the fact that there's no date lockdown, does that mean that maybe, the rematch clause, I believe, is given a year window. So really, Hearn and AJ should, and probably could, stretch this out until next August, couldn't they? And that's really what should happen. Listen, like I just said, if it was fixed, yeah, or if AJ purposefully just flopped. But then again, watch the last round, yeah? I don't care what no one says. No one who's in control and just wants to lose ends up on the ropes and flops to the corner like he did. It weren't fixed, but let's get rid of that narrative right now. So the bottom line is, they should be taking time, yeah? And I don't know what it is about Mr. Johnston in Dubai ice skating. You ain't got time to be ice skating, even if you're going to fight in August, which ain't the case, from what Hearn's saying. Even though they're taking a long time to get this rematch sorted, it's still going to be March or April, allegedly. What are you doing in Dubai? It's almost like you're already retired and you're just kind of going through the motions, giggling with Fernando Alonso. Wow. But I really do hope that this isn't Hearn just grandstanding. I really hope this isn't Hearn just taking the YB's bars and trying to get back on side kind of thing. Oh, you know what? Because for me, it's a bit like I said, six of one and half a dozen of the other. Yeah, AJ could do with a change, but, Rob may still be in the camp. It's like, that's exactly, you've seen the quotes on your screen throughout this video. That's what he said. He said, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, well, how serious are you about this change? There's nothing wrong with Rob, like you said. All I'm saying is, people around AJ now should be consistent in their messaging. Because guess what? You, man, was consistent in your messaging, shilling for Rob McFritzel. Yeah? You didn't have no problem doing that. When he was getting his head bopped around, when he was being put in the ring concussed, you, man, weren't criticising Rob McFritzel. I was the one who said, wait a minute, what does that say about your team who let your fighter go in there half scrambled? Look at Fury. Look at all the pulling out he does, for example. Look at the Furies full stop. They stay pulling out. Now, I'm not saying you should endeavour to be like that, but there's some middle ground. If you're sick, you're sick. No one, trust me, as fans, yes, we don't want you pulling out every fight or twice a fight like Fury, but pulling out once every couple of fights, no one moans about that. That's actually natural in the sport. We'd rather that be the case than you be sitting back now saying, well, I never missed a fight and I fought everyone. No, you lost to everyone. Yeah, that's what you did. You didn't fight everyone, you lost to everyone. Yeah? What does that do for the fans, the fact you lost to everyone? We'd rather you not bother, truth be known. Don't bother if you're going to lose. Don't bother if you're going to be floppy. Yeah? There's no medals for turning up. Like, for example, the medals, yeah, when fighters get in the ring, yeah, and they're injured, the medals are for pushing through and winning. If you're injured to the extent where you can't push through, who wants to watch that? You're supposed to be injured and find a way. That's where people, you know what I mean? That's where you end up getting rubbed off. Yeah? If you want to get rubbed off for something, you go in there with the injury and push through. But you weren't doing no pushing. And there's, YB, his elbow was bust. Listen, if your elbow was bust, again, what was you doing in the ring? And number two, you weren't trying to push through. I've seen Danny Williams and a whole bunch of other people with one arm, legitimately one arm, literally in there nuzzling in, yeah, using the one arm they've got to be all messy looking. Honestly, we've seen people fighting through with one arm. You weren't doing that, yeah. You didn't put it all on the line with one arm. And to be honest, the other arm looked just fine. To be fair, it didn't look injured, that's for sure. Well, it didn't look dislocated like Danny Williams's was. But anyway, listen, like I said, 258 management, Eddie Hearn, right now, you, man, need to get in line and start drilling home this messaging. It needs to be clear and concise. Rob must go. He's had his time. You had your opportunity. You've had 15 years now, and look where we are. You don't need no more time. This ain't one of them ones where you can say, well, let's tweak some things. You've been tweaking. Yeah? It's time to move on. And I'm not shocked, because I called it, but it's shocking. The whole Rob situation. Someone said to him, AJ, why are you looking for different trainers? And AJ went, well, the thing is, Rob's in Lithuania anyway, so I've got to find I thought, what the fuck? What's going on here? What's going on? What's going on where you got a top athlete and the head trainer? I mean, the top athlete's looking for another trainer who he doesn't really want to pay, by the way, but he wants another trainer because the other guy's in Lithuania. Like, what is that? Who's signing off on this? Eddie, what? I mean, this is the thing with the reporters. IFL TV, Boxing Social, God knows who else. Why hasn't no one said to Eddie, what do you think about Mr. Johnston looking for a trainer because Rob's in Lithuania in his deepest time of need? And don't forget, people, before the Usyk fight, he was in Japan. Oops, missed half of the camp, legitimately. He was only there for the last 4 weeks, I think, at the camp. Missed it all. And then afterwards, after a massive shock loss, he's swanned off to Lithuania. Who is signing off on this kind of stuff? Now, to be fair to Hernan 258 management, I think Johnston's obviously the buck here stops with Johnston. But equally, all of you, man, have got your fingers in the pie. Your stakeholders. If it was me, honestly, if my living was attached to Johnston, I'd be saying, wait there a minute, do you think that's right, Anthony? that you got a part-time dude. If I was, honestly, my integrity, yeah. I'm not being funny. It's not even like it's rocket. It's not even like it's a big sacrifice. Is it really a big sacrifice, yeah, for Rob McFritzel to say, Team GB, it's been great, but I need to knuckle down with my charger now? Is that? I need to knuckle down with my $1 million a year charge. We're not asking him to knuckle down with some prospect who's broken or who ain't paying no money. But it shows you the arrogance. Even though you've got a once in a generation fighter, you got another job as well. And you still, even after the loss, have got no shame. But that tells you all Eddie Hearn's talk about, well, it's deeper than that. It's a father figure. A father figure would have been said, a father figure would have committed to his peoples. That's pretty basic, to be honest. I've never heard of anything like this. I've never heard of Cus D'Amato. I've never heard of Mike Tyson saying, well, the thing is, I had a tough fight and Cus was in this play. What? I've never heard of any of the great trainers having another job and just dipping in, dipping out. I've never heard of it myself. Oops. I had some goofies in my comment section saying, oh, YB, Jack Dorsey is CEO for 2. Is he? Oops. How'd that work out for you? Muppets. Is he really? Got sacked, you Muppets. Now what? Oops. Yeah? Oh, dude. How'd that work out for you? I told you before, you can't mess with it YB. You end up getting, karma comes round and clips you on the ear and sends you packing. Oh, you goof. Jack Dorsey, bro. How'd that work out? Yeah? You got sacked. That's how it worked out. So, like I was saying, Rob must go. Must. That's it. Or, to be honest, at this point in time, it'll be what it'll be. I'm happy. If I have to keep making videos, roasted, I'm happy. Listen, the bottom line is, I've got to the point where I'm happy. I'm comfortable now. Before, I was kind of dependent on Johnston. But now, we've got a nice little name for him. It's all kind of working out for me, emotionally speaking, yeah? I quite enjoy saying Mr. Johnston. So if he don't win again, I'm happy to keep talking about Gandhi and Mandela and Johnston. If he wins again in devastating fashion, then we can go back. But either way, the point is, I'm happy either way at this point in time. I'm not no more. I mean, look at another guy. I've got another video coming soon. Lewis Hamilton, another one. Yeah, another Stephen from Django. What's going on with these funny style guys, man? Gets robbed and then drops the case. Wow. And that's why to be honest, the only reason I cover any of this stuff is for the coins. That's the truth of it. Yeah. And that's my advice to all of you. Don't buy into any of this celebrity rubbish. Use it for what you can. Yeah. Use it for entertainment. Use it for some cheap thrills, and that's it. Don't get connected. Yeah. Don't be doing too much with these guys. They're funny style. That's the bottom line. Yeah. They're puppets, essentially. That's all there is to be said. There is very little substance anymore in any of it. It's the funny style culture has infiltrated at every level. There ain't nowhere that's safe no more. There ain't no one that's certified. It's all funny style. So anyway, listen. Johnston, Anthony, you know what to do. Yeah? There's plenty of other people. I mean, I'm not being funny. People criticise Tunde, yeah, but the thing is about Tunde, at least Yardi, when Yardi lost to Kovalev, he lost trying. And yeah, I feel a bit guilty. I did, even though it wasn't a big video, but still, I felt, I criticised Tunde, but really, on hindsight, you know what? They went out, they can kind of hang their head high. Yeah, to be honest, well, listen, he shouldn't have run out of cardio. He should have whooped on Kovalev. But the point is, at least he went out. I would have rather Johnston have lost like that. Well, you know what, YB? Johnston, he loaded up. He give Usyk 2-3 rounds of hell, and he was burnt out and flopped on his back. You can work with that, as we found out. You can work with that kind of spirit and fire. You can't work with floppy. Yeah? You can't work with zesty. You can't work with in Dubai ice skating. That's what you can't work with.